Honey, I think you need to tell her about our honeymoon trip.
What was that?
You need to. She's got the recorder on.
Oh.
And I think you need to tell her about our honeymoon trip.
Oh. Well, you see the little model car with it?
Yeah.
Have you heard the story about that?
I don't think I have. Tell me the story. I may have, but I need it again.
Well, as you know, we were married at Park Avenue.
Same here. Yeah.
And you were there. And we, it was an afternoon, Sunday afternoon, hot, September 4th, you know.
Yeah.
That's the time of year when in Southern California you can really get warm, and that building was never air conditioned until recently.
Yeah.
So the reception was after the wedding, and lots of people stayed for that. So we had I think that the room was full, wasn't it, for the wedding?
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
Every seat was taken, and so there had to be upwards of 125 to 150 people there, and most of them stayed. So by the time you howdy and accept their gifts or whatever, it was getting on to about 5:30 or 6 o'clock, and we finally decided, well, it's time for us to hop in the car and take off. And of course, traditionally, you're supposed to have the big chase, the getaway car and all that stuff. And Dave Elliott had worked out a deal for us to park the car in a remote location, and then he went and got it and delivered it when we told him we were ready to go. So all of a sudden, we're alone. Just the two of us, in this car. And now what do? What's next on the agenda? So we drove to the end of Olympic Boulevard. Do you know where that is?
I kind of probably would.
Whittier Boulevard is parallel to Olympic.
Okay.
And at the end of Olympic, the traffic has to go north, kind of along the Rio Hondo River.
Okay.
So there's a bluff there, and there's a kind of a parking area, and we had discovered it earlier on one of our occasions, because her family home was just
real
6
quick.
doors down from Olympic, on Cedar Court. But anyway, we sat there, kind of caught our breath, and of course there were some exchange of kisses, and saying, we did it, that kind of thing. Now it's time to think about our trip north. Now, my family, I talked to my dad into letting me borrow the family car, because he had a friend who had a car that they were actually taking care of the car for this friend of the family, and he said, that'll work. You could take the 39 Chevy.
Okay.
And of course, that was a pre-war production,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it had lasted throughout the Second World War, through all of the shortages.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Recap tires.
Yeah. How fun.
Rebuilt transmission and clutch, and lots of haywire, to hold it all together. But it was still running good, and so I also asked if I could have my mattress from the bed.
Okay.
Because I had rented an apartment here in Eugene. But we didn't have any furniture, and there was an oil heater, a vented oil heater that was in that upstairs apartment that I had rented. So I knew we had a place to stay when we arrived here, a place to live, And but the question was, well, how do we get that mattress up Eugene, Oregon? So that my cousin, he's heard the story. So he happened to cross place where they were selling.
That is
Cars,
the
you know,
coolest
model
thing.
cars.
Yeah.
And here's a model of the
Yes.
style of the car
With
for
the
the
mattress.
39 Chevy.
Yeah.
And one of our family members, my dad's cousin, was a businessman out in the area, out in halfway to Ventura, out in the Simi Valley,
Mm-hmm.
up on Highway 101. And it was called Culver's Bull Pit Barbecue,
Mm.
posh restaurant, because that was the big thing in those days. Barbecue, you
Barbecue.
know, was coming into style.
Yeah.
And he had quite a trade, actually, but that thing that was interesting was he had been invited to the wedding, of course, but he wrote a nice note back, said, you know, my wife and I won't be able to be at the wedding, but we'd like the bride and groom to stop at our restaurant for a dinner
How
as a
nice.
wedding gift.
Yeah.
And so we let them know, yeah, hey, it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
So we'll do that on our trip out of town. So, you know, by 9:30 or so, when we pulled away from the house there in Alhambra, we had the back seat of this car piled high with a lot of unwrapped
Yeah. Gifts.
gifts. We were going to open a few each day, you know, kind of thing. And we had a promise of a cabin from another relative to stay in a lovely little ocean lake
Mm-hmm.
called Croft Lake. And they had a cabin there. And they told us we could have it for a week as part of their wedding gift
Mm-hmm.
to us. Say, well, we were eager to get there and you know, get away from having to take our chances renting a motel or whatever. So anyway, we made the trip. Started out Sunday night, stopped at Culver's restaurant, and we drove into and here are all these Buicks, Cadillacs.
Mm-hmm.
I think there may have been one or two foreign cars as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know, really luxury cars.
Nice cars.
Parked in they had a valet.
Oh my God. How fun.
And here we come. And this is what
With your little mattress on the car.
this is a model of what our
That's really cute.
but this doesn't really quite measure up because that different color part of the covering on the real thing was one of these canvases that they make for these outdoor swings.
Okay.
And so you had stripes of
Oh.
orange and
Oh, gee.
red and green, and so it was very colorful.
It attracted a lot of attention.
Here we go. And
That's funny.
this guy, I saw him, okay, he's gonna park the car for me, and of course, instead of parking it next to all the Buicks and the Cadillacs and so forth, we're trying to turn out.
Yeah.
And I was very suspicious because, you know, all those gifts and everything,
Oh, yeah.
you know, probably worth more than the car was. And, you know, and the mattress, of course, some
Well, yes.
you know, could come along and just
Yeah.
think that seemed pretty funny and cut the ropes or whatever.
Mhm.
And, yeah, I worried like crazy, worrywart, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, we get into this restaurant, and they knew we were coming. See? So all the wait staff, they were just kind of giggling, and
Yeah. Oh,
they were
God.
pretty excited. They thought, here we've got these children that are just married, and we're supposed to serve them a dinner. And neither one of us had very much experience eating out at all.
Yeah, I bet. I really
No.
bet.
Yeah.
Because-
And
raised during the Depression years.
so anyway, we got in there, and they were very commodious. You know, they just ushered us in like we belonged, you know.
Yeah.
All the other patrons, you know, they're looking at it. He's
Kids.
hillbillies from wherever. And
Because you're both so young and everything. Think about it.
And because of the mattress on
Yeah,
the
the mattress
car.
on the car.
so we looked at the menu, and the ham dinner, the filet mignon, steak dinner, you know, barbecue, obviously, that would have been the thing to order. We had no experience with those things. So
How did you order? What did you
I
order?
said, you know, well, what looks good to you? You know, what are you going to order? And she said, well, I think I see this $1.39 for this ham dinner. And I said, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So we ordered that. So, but we're supposed to get a salad, and so back in that day, it was still appropriate for them to have these little dressing things on the table.
Yeah. Okay.
Thousand Island Ranch, French, whatever.
Yeah.
And so they brought this beautiful salad for each of us. But the waitress was so, I think she was so distracted by the fact that she was, you know, waiting on these children. And she didn't bring the dressings. So after she brings the dressing, the salads, we started in on the salads, had them all consumed when she said, oh, I forgot to bring the dressing. So we had our ham dinner, and then afterwards, they wanted to know if we wanted dessert. I said, well, I think so. And I was worried that they would tack it on, because maybe that wasn't part of the deal.
Yeah. Oh my
So I
God.
looked at the price tag on it, and they had apple pie was 35 cents.
Oh my
A la
God.
mode was 45 cents.
Oh my God.
Just to give you an idea of the prices.
Yeah. Right.
And we've got the menu to prove it.
Oh my God.
But that's our story.
That's very fun. That's a
Yeah.
good one.
And so that's our 1939 Express.
I like that. That's good you have it out so you can see it all the time.
Yeah, and the other car is the first brand new car that we ever bought. That was a Studebaker Golden Hawk.
What year was this one then?
The one on top
That you,
above.
No, the one we drove.
the one you drove is what year car?
39.
A 39. What was it?
And we were
Chevrolet.
married in 49.
Yeah, that's
We were
cool.
10 years old.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Let me see how long. Yeah. Okay, go on.
Aren't you going to tell about it?
Yeah, it's
Oh, well, our first night was kind of wild because by the time we got done eating at Eddie Cober's barbecue pit, next thing is I had not even thought ahead far enough to think about where we would stay our first night.
Really? You didn't know where you were going to stay the rest?
It's crazy in retrospect.
Isn't that weird?
Just
You're just way too excited.
So we were on Ventura Boulevard,
Yeah.
and we were about halfway to Ventura on Highway 101.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to go up through San Francisco and go up the Oregon coast. Well, that's the longest way to go, of course. Most miles,
Yeah.
but it's beautiful scenery. Once you get into Oregon back in those days, the mountains, the road was very circuitous.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of slow down turns, where you don't dare go at top speed.
And you got your mattress on the car.
we don't want to lose that mattress.
Yeah, I spent the latter part of that second day trying to, find a hardware store so I could get another rope to put it,
Mm-hmm.
make sure I had that thing secured. Because I was getting worried that if we get into some wind, why
Yeah.
those mattresses like to fly. They're just like a wing, you know.
Yeah.
And anyway, we were kind of worried with that, but we found a motel and checked in at about 11:30, something like that.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
it wasn't what you call a real
It was
Wash.
not a bridal suite.
Of course.
But it was inexpensive and it was clean and
Yeah.
there was a bed with one of these 25-cent vibrator things.
Mhm.
You could put your quarter in.
Yeah.
Next morning, about 5:30 in the morning,
At dawn, actually.
right behind the motel was a place, a home probably, that had chickens and a rooster. That's just that. So between the noise of the refrigerator, it was very noisy. It was one of the old
Yeah.
canister top,
Oh, God.
you've seen them back in the olden days.
Yeah.
Coils on top of
Oh, God.
thing. Very noisy, and the rooster crowing in the morning. Needless to say, we didn't get a lot of sleep, but
Yeah.
so we take off and we get all the way to San Jose. So we did pretty well, covering the miles, and we stayed there in a hotel, and then we just said, why don't we just go for it? Get to the cabin.
Mhm.
And we don't want to waste any more time driving. So we didn't spend a lot of time in San Francisco. We did stop and look at, we looked at the bridge and
Mhm.
we kind of enjoyed seeing the busy
Yeah.
place and the way it was situated. It was my first visit to San Francisco. So I think you'd been there before, hadn't you? No. But anyway, we decided, we'll press on. Well, at midnight of that day, we're still within like maybe 75 miles of this little spot in the road where there was supposed to be a sign,
Mhm.
and my uncle had written in a letter. He said, "No, we're going to be there on Labor Day. Our family will be there, but we won't be there from Tuesday on. So if you arrive on Tuesday or Wednesday, why, that'll work just real fine. But instead of you're having to drive all the way into Coos Bay, where we live, I'll put a key in a mason jar,
Mhm.
and I'll kind of hide it in the sand at the base of the sign that says, points to Croft Lake." So we finally find the sign, and she'd been driving for a little while, and we almost missed it. As a matter of fact, had to turn around and come back, make sure we hadn't missed it. No, there it is. So here it is, but pitch dark, middle of the night, probably 2 o'clock, maybe in the morning, something like that. And so I get out with my flashlight, and I pawn around the base of this,
I'm trying to
in
find
the sand and everything, trying to find a mason jar with a
Yeah.
key in it. And sure enough, I finally found it. It was kind of, it was not right exactly at the base, but
Yeah.
it was close. And with the flashlight, I finally spotted it, so I grabbed it and I jumped back into the car and we started down this road to Croft Lake. Well, it's kind of like, that time of day, Oregon has lots of trees, and that's true of the coast as well. And so Croft Lake is surrounded by lots of, nice big natural growing trees, some dug fir, but probably many of them like that one right out there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
which is I think that's can't think of it right now. Anyway, Amalek.
Oh, yeah.
And so the limbs kind of drooped down, you know, and it was like a canopy. Like we were driving into, remember
That's neat.
the
Snow White.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
and like in the movie, you know, with the princess, you know, trying to escape and you know, and everything. She,
The trees just formed a channel, and it was really spooky at that time of night.
Yeah, I bet.
They were just enclosing us.
now there were other cabins on the lake, but you know, no lights. And the way the cabin was situated, they built it with the idea that they wanted the front of the cabin facing the lake, because they were going to have a big picture window, which was very nice because you could look out on the lake. And so, but my uncle in his letter had said, now you'll be delighted to learn that we finally have electrified the cabin, and we hope to have at least one light available for the living room. And so we get there and we fumble around. We pulled up to the cabin, and lo and behold, we're at the back door. So we opened finally got it open, and we walked in to kind of check it out before we started moving stuff in. And as we were coming into the back, there's this big laundry tub, and it's full of water. And I had the flashlight. I hadn't discovered where the light was yet. I'm flashing. And our flashlight down in this tub, and here's his eyeball looking up at me.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
They had caught a fish, big, beautiful fish.
Oh, gosh.
And they wanted us to, it was something so special, they wanted us to be able to enjoy a nice fish dinner. So we both were kind of spooked by that too.
Yeah.
You know, here's his eyeball looking up at us, and so we just left and let it, you know, cold water was going to keep okay, and
That's smart.
and we carried our stuff in and fell into bed because we were just exhausted from all that driving, you know, and everything. Got up the next morning and I said, well, after you get that fish cleaned, we could cut some fillets and we'll have fish for breakfast. And she
No way.
looked at me.
I'm gonna what?
Needless to say, we didn't have fish for breakfast. Needless to say, you might imagine who cleaned the fish.
Yes, I can imagine.
So that's our story about our trip. And of course, as luck would have it, we had perfect weather all the way from Southern California to Croft Lake.
All the way up
The
there.
very next day it starts raining. And our wonderful wrapping of
Mattress.
the canvas around the mattress, there was a place where the water got in.
Oh, no.
So by the time we got to Eugene, Oregon, which was another 3-hour drive, why that mattress was pretty well soaked on one part. But it was a beautiful sunny day then. The 8th day or so of September, it was a nice warm day. So we put down part of the canvas and laid the mattress on that in the direct sunlight.
Yeah. Let it
And
dry
then we
out.
borrowed an iron from Auntie Mabel and ironed it
Oh, I wanted to dry it out.
heat.
Oh my gosh.
So that was our introduction to our apartment and moving that wet mattress.
Oh.
It had to be dried out. So by Sunday of that first week, we finally were moved in, and we stayed 2 nights with my aunt and uncle in their home
Mm-hmm.
in the front bedroom. So it was their house was over on
Over by the university.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 2 blocks from where she taught school.
Yeah.
Later,
But-
much later.
Much later.
Yeah, those were the
That's
days.
a good one. Let's see.